What up, what up, what up? Hello, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, folks. We are so close to PulseChain launching. We got lots to talk about in this video. Of course, we're going to be looking into why HEX is not pumping like many of us would think HEX would do after such bullish news. So we're going to try to see what is going on. We got some announcements from our man Richard Hart. We're going to be looking at the GitLab as well, which is where PulseChain, PulseX are being developed. And of course, guys, if y'all have questions, feel free to leave them down as we go along with this stream. Thank you so much for tuning in. It is Monday, March 27th. We are almost done with the month of March, folks. Goodness gracious, it has just continued to fly by. So, without further ado, let's take a little peeky weeky at what HEX is doing right now. We got some dumping going on, folks. We got the HEX price sitting at 7.891 cents. Now, I hope y'all are able to scoop up some of this amazing priced HEX at this time. Hopefully you've watched how to set the limit orders, and hopefully you have gone through and actually captured some of this amazing price. Now, it is going against the grain of what everybody thought would happen. And I don't know if anyone truly actually predicted this to be the way it went once we started getting bullish news from Richard Hart, once we started getting announcements from V3, once we started seeing V3 testnet being live. I don't know if there was one person who predicted this saying it would dump immediately upon V3 release. So this is shocking, but at the same time, eye-opening. It's made me realize that we got whales suppressing the price continually because they do not want someone to be able to outpace them. This is my opinion, but they do not want someone to outpace them and outbid them and outrank them and buy more Pulse and buy more PulseX and do more things before the launch of PulseChain or during the launch of PulseChain. So it's very curious, and now this kind of further stands to reason that everything that I had said yesterday in my stream on the Sunday Fun Day stream, guys, that was an amazing stream. If you missed it, go back and check it out. We had just a lot of fun in chat, answered plenty of questions, so I highly recommend after checking out this video, y'all go check out that one. It was a really good time. And guys, thank you again to all the super chats as well. That was absolutely incredible. Big props to Silver the Antidote. Came in heavy with that super chat. So thank you again for that, Silver the Antidote. But guys, we're looking at the HEX price, and there's been some bullish news. I mean, at this point in time, Richard Hart just recently came out and said this is your warning that PulseChain and PulseX can launch at any time without warning. And dang, that is so bullish. Like that right there, that statement, oh my god, that is so bullish. And so it really kind of it caught me off guard, if you will, right? I did not expect it to go this way because I was actually thinking, let me actually pull this up to where I can move myself. Yeah, I'll put myself right there. That's a good spot. So it actually caught me off guard because dang, like folks, I had truly thought that come the announcement of V3, come the announcement of PulseChain testnet V3, that we would see the price of HEX potentially at least do a 2x, and instead we got a 20% pump. And that's really nothing in the world of crypto. We're so used to the moves and ups and downs of 15, 20, 30%. We've seen it happen even yesterday. The span of every action that happened from 12 cents all the way down. This is weekly here, but all the way down within the week, it was over 48% down. So it was sitting at 12 cents, dropped all the way to a low of 6.46 cents. Wow, that was shocking. So were y'all able to scoop up some of this HEX down here? I know I had some limit orders set just in case, and I am happy whenever the price goes down. It's a difference between buying on the market and actually getting a limit order filled. That's why when I have my limit orders in place, it makes me feel so freaking good because it actually means the price dropped low enough to give my order filled. I know whenever I would buy on the market for whatever reason, the price would always drop. And it seemed like someone was just watching me, out to get me. Someone was waiting for me to do a market buy because I'd watch this pump and I'd say, oh, I can get it, I can get it, I can get it. And then I would be this person who bought it here at 11 cents and then it would just immediately start dumping. And that upset me so many times. So I figured out a way to learn how to set limit orders. I went through and taught myself how to set limit orders. And this is all of, 2022, right? I taught myself how to do all this, so I was able to capture the price. In fact, all these dips that we've seen was down to 2 cents, 1.8 cents. I was capturing that dip the entire time. I hope y'all were also capturing that dip, because like limit orders, man, when they get filled, it's actually a happy feeling, because it means that you had the price set lower than you thought it may go, but it got filled. You got some hex. Congrats. So were y'all able to scoop up some? Congrats to anyone who was. But now what we got going on is Richard Hart just came out with this. This is your warning. PulseChain can launch at any time without warning. Without warning, folks. And what does that mean? It means that right now we have the developers of all of PulseChain active right now. All active March 26th, March 26th, March 26th, March 25th. And guys, you know what I'm watching for? This one right here, Richard Hart. I've seen he was last active March 24th. Typically what happens is we see him go active on GitLab, and then within 24 hours, we typically get some sort of announcement, okay? Now, it's some sort of announcement updating us on regards to PulseChain. So for the last 11 weeks, he has been giving us an announcement on PulseChain, PulseX, every single time. Now, at this point in time, we got V3 live. We're here testing it out. I hope all of y'all had the chance to go through and test it out. Some folks are saying that they don't expect PulseChain to launch because they see this right here, and they say it's still missing so many things. Guys, this is what I've been trying to explain. Right, what we're seeing is user interface. This is only the user interface. The underlying code of PulseChain, of PulseX, is complete. It's already got everything that we're looking for. They're just rolling out these things so we can actually implement it and use it. And then make it like, so don't get caught sleeping on this one. Don't think that just because you don't see limit orders on here, don't think that just because you don't see the buy and burn, that it's not ready to launch. It can definitely launch at any point in time. But now my mindset has changed. I no longer believe that we will see the run up of HEX. This is, again, my own opinion, but I once had the opinion that we would see a run-up of 2 to 5x when we got the announcement of PulseChain. I can no longer stand by that reasoning due to the fact that we are not pumping, and this is one of the most bullish news we've heard in quite some time. People are selling, not people, whales are suppressing the price continually. Why? Because they want the chance to either, one, they have a massive bag of HEX, so even if it gets copied over and they sold $1 million worth, they still got a massive bag over there, so they can hold USDC, they can hold it liquid, and they can have it ready for when the bridge comes active. That bridge is going to become active, we know, within 24 to 48 hours potentially of when PulseChain goes live. So what am I trying to explain on this one? I now believe guys, y'all are gonna think I'm crazy, but if PulseChain launches, we still got that dip coming. Ethereum HEX is gonna be hit. Ethereum HEX is definitely gonna take a slam. So now is the time to set your limit orders and do some ridiculously low limit orders, because I have a feeling we may see these prices dip lower than anyone could possibly imagine. People are going to be freaking out. They're going to be trying to do anything they can. Emergency instaking their Ethereum HEX. They're going to be selling all of their HEX and trying to bridge it in as soon as the bridge goes live. So we could see a potential dip even from the current price of 7.9 cents all the way down to 50 to 60 cents or 50 to 60% lower. So what does that actually mean? Right now, that would take the price all the way down back into the 3-cent range. So folks, I'm saying this because I'm trying to give everyone that little heads up warning, if you will. Now is the time, if you want to go through and have a limit order set, put some limit orders down low. Get ridiculous with this stuff, right? Have limit orders going all the way. Now, again, not financial advice. You do you, boo-boo. But you got to understand that if you have some limit orders down here, PulseChain goes live, bam, you're getting these orders filled. Oh my gosh. And you have the copies of HEX on PulseChain, and you're going to have PulseChain, and you're going to have PulseX. It's going to be so freaking exciting, but you do not want to be in a situation where you get saddened. I'd hate to see anyone get saddened, because it is going to be a thing where Ethereum HEX is going to drop. There's so much hype around the new shiny object that I don't see a massive influx of money coming back into the Ethereum HEX. Yes, some of these whales can go back and buy some of the HEX, especially if this price dips down within their range, but most likely start setting some limit orders. 7 cents, 6 cents, 7 cents, 6 cents, 5 cents, 4 cents, 3 cents. Heck, even go all the way down to 2 cents. Dude, I don't know how low this thing will go, but I can expect that Ethereum HEX is going to take a massive hit. There is not a lot of liquidity in it right now. And so if you get a lot of people selling, trying to bridge in their tokens, trying to sell their Ethereum HEX, because that was their plan all along. Some people are using HEX right now as a tool. Some people are using it as a tool to make sure that they can transact on PulseChain when it goes live. They don't care about HEX. They aren't here for HEX. They aren't here to mine their HEX. They don't understand the burning of HEX, making their T-shares, getting paid trustless yield every day. They don't want to know that. They're using this as a tool to get into the PulseChain ecosystem, to get into the newest layer 1 project that's going to be launched, the newest decentralized exchange that's going to be launched at the same time, that's deflationary on both of them, that has a buy and burn function. There's people that are going to sell their Ethereum HEX. It's going to happen. So with the price being suppressed, I have a hard time believing that even with the announcement of PulseChain, we aren't going to see that price pump. Because if we get in, that was the warning, right? This right here, warning, folks. This is your warning. Pulse and PulseX can launch at any time. That's your warning right there. That's it. That's all. And so we aren't going to get the massive pump. There's no point in time where he's going to say PulseChain launch in the next week, and then you see the price start pumping, right? There is no more warning. That's it. This is what we got. So if HEX isn't pumping right now, it's not gonna pump. Like it's being suppressed. And who is it being suppressed by? Well, we got a few people who are doing this right now. So I went through and found a couple of wallets who have sold just recently. And again, nothing against selling, folks. You got to understand, do whatever you want to do. I'm just pointing this out to simply say that they could have a plan in place, and if they're following their plan and what's true to their heart, then let them do it, right? And it means for us that you get to get some additional HEX at a lower price before the PulseChain fork comes. Like, imagine if you had bought at 12 cents, but imagine you could double your bag at 6 cents, right? So that's kind of one of those things. And if you did buy at 12 cents because you were ready for the hype, you were a part of that cycle, well, you've had at this point in time roughly about 5 days where the price has already gone a little bit lower. Hopefully, if you get paid maybe in a week or two or something like that, hopefully you can find some ability to start buying some additional, right? Have limit orders in place. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Guys, set the limit orders right now. And what do I use to set limit orders? I personally use CalSwap. Why? Because whenever I go there, it allows me to set it out to 6 months. Okay, this is why I like it. I have to switch back to the Ethereum real quick, but this is why I like CalSwap, because I can set this here for, just as an example, USDC here. I can say buy some HEX here. Whoops, let me just search for it. Buy some HEX here. And the benefit of it is I can set this sucker out. All the way out to 6 months. Okay. Wow. Why is it not working? Interesting. Interesting. Well, I don't know about CalSwap, right? Maybe it's not. Okay, there it goes. You can set this out for 6 months, and that's why I like it. You can go down here to custom, and you can choose the date all the way out to 6 months from now. So I can really set this all the way out to like September, for example, and I can set it here all the way out. So in case the price does end up dipping along that line, I'm getting that price along that line, right? And then whenever the time comes, you can always revoke it. You can see your open orders. You can go through and cancel them if you want to cancel them, all that stuff, right? Guys, make sure that you're scooping this up. But this allows you to see it, say, hey, I want to get this price here, and I want to buy some additional HEX whenever the price of USDC market price. Yeah, let me see here. They got this a little bit backwards. Interesting. It's not giving me the actual price. Normally it'll say the price is 0.0, you know, whatever the price is right now. Refresh. Yeah, because it's dang sure ain't 12. That would be incredible. Okay, cool. I just had to put in $1 there. So say you put in 100. I'm just using this as an example, right? So you can set the price here at 100, 1,000, whatever you want to set your limit orders at, whatever you have to spare, folks. This is the ability to scoop up some additional. Now, again, I'm not a fan of market buying. Why? Because when I do a market buy, the price dumps and I feel sad. Whenever the price is filled on a limit order, I feel happy. So based on my emotions, knowing how I'm going to feel, I do limit orders because I can choose the price where I want it to go. So say, for example, I want to buy some HEX when a price reaches 7.5 cents. Yeah, it's only a 5.6% discount, but you can understand that if I have it here at 7.5, I still get a little bit extra HEX. And then what do? I set it here for 6.5. I set another one for 5.5. I set another one for 4.5. So when the price, should the price inevitably fall, then I'm going to scoop up some more HEX here on this side. That's what the benefit of limit orders is, right? That's why I do it. Now, someone asked a question, Crypto Khalil, do you pay gas fees when you set the limit, when you set the order? No, you do not with CalSwap. In fact, you don't even pay gas fees when the order gets filled, because if you actually scroll on down, okay, yeah, when you scroll down, typically it'll actually say that essentially CalSwap will pay the fee for you. Right, and so CalSwap will actually set it up to where you don't even have to worry about paying that fee. They cover the fee, but the way it works is they wait until the price reaches possibly a little bit lower to execute and fill your order. That way, they also get some additional money. That's how they do it. That's how you get around it. So if the price ends up dropping down, say to 7.5 cents, and you know your order doesn't get filled, just know that's a possibility, which is why you almost want to do ladder strategy of limit orders. So you can set it 7.5, 7.1, 6.5, you know, go down the order, whatever you want to do. And it's just a way of making sure that you can scoop up some. And then what happens is the order will get filled. Say the price reaches 7.3, your order gets filled at 7.5. They make up the difference. They pay for the fees. Your order gets filled. You end up with HEX in your bag. They take out the USDC or whatever token that you choose to set. Make sure that you are setting it with something like wrapped Ethereum, USDC, USDT, DAI. Those are typically how it works. And you can do the opposite too, guys. I talk about taking profits. You do the opposite in profit taking too. So as the price actually starts pumping up, if you have a good profit taking strategy, you can actually come in here and say, I want to sell X amount of HEX, for example, let's say 2,000 when the price reaches 20 cents. And I'm just using this as the example, but this is saying that I want to sell 2,000 HEX when the price reaches 20 cents, and bam, you get back $412. And this is just as an example, but you do it on the way up and you do it on the way down. This is how you maximize your earnings. This is how you maximize your potential. This is also how you remove emotions out of it, folks, because I'm telling you, when you do a market buy, damn it, dude, it feels like you're always just missing something. And then you also have to be paying attention to the gas fees. So you're over here trying to look at the gas tracker and see if it's a good time. Personally, I would not transact right now at 34 Gwei, but people are doing market buys. And when you do a market buy, you pay the gas fee at that time, and you do have to pay whatever the Gwei is. So like all of that goes into play. And then you're like, man, if I want to get some HEX right now at 7.9 cents, then I have to pay the gas fee of 35 Gwei if I do a market buy. And then you see the price drop to 7.5, and then you see the Gwei drop to 16 Gwei, and you're like, I wish I would have just waited. Well, instead of doing all that, set limit orders, folks. Like, take all that nonsense out of the equation, right? Remove that emotion right there. Just find a way of what makes sense for you. I personally use CalSwap. You can use other websites like oneinch.io. I don't use 1inch because I live here in the US and they aren't able to transact within the US. Yes, I can get around that through a VPN. But again, I can see the price continually to be suppressed below 10 cents. Now that we have seen right here that they did not really allow it to go past 12 cents for one, but really past this 11 cents, I could really see the price continually being suppressed here in this 9 cent range. Why is that? Well, you have a lot of people who have sold their HEX, and this is another account just recently who has sold their HEX. Well, what did they do with that? They opened up liquidity positions. They became LPs. So right here, is it this one? I think I have to go into this one, and then give me 1 second. Internal. No, it wasn't this address. Give me 1 second. I'd seen one that became a liquidity provider and started having like 32 positions of LP positions here. Where was it? Was it this one? I had a lot of accounts open, so just be mindful there. Maybe it wasn't any of these. NFT transfers. Goodness gracious. Uniswap positions. There you go. Cool. So it was this address right here. So this was the address. 7BB was the address where they actually opened up roughly about, I want to say it was like 36 positions or 27 positions of LP. Now again, ERC 721s, when you do a Uniswap V3 LP position or liquidity provider position, you get an NFT in lieu of that, and it actually shows you, and you can actually click on it. I'm just going to open this in a new tab. You can click on it and it'll actually show you the exact trading range that these folks are at. So this person providing liquidity here between 4.4 cents down to 4.9 cents. So should the price end up dropping that low, they're basically saying, hey, we've talked about this before, but this is the price when you have a LP position. As the price goes up, this is HEX up here. As the price goes down, this is USDC here. Right? Well, as the price starts going down, what happens is you start getting more HEX. That USDC becomes cheaper, and it turns into HEX. And eventually, should the price end up dipping down below 4.4 cents, all of their USDC that they placed in their liquidity right here would be converted into HEX. And that's their way of potentially buying some HEX. Now, you do have to remove the liquidity provider position at that time if you want to actually convert it. And so, yeah, keep in mind. That is always fun. So, hopefully that explains quite a bit to everyone. Let us see what is going on with chat real fast. I'm curious. We got the HEX price still going a little bit down, so hopefully y'all are all taking advantage of getting some more HEX before the PulseChain launch. This is another opportunity to scoop up that additional bag, maybe make a stake on the side or burn some HEX and make another stake to start mining, because you're going to get it copied when PulseChain happens. Okay, so like keep that in mind, folks. Keep that in mind. But let's see what's going on with everybody. What's up, King J? Let's freaking go. What's up? What's up? What's up? Gloria, hello. Hi, ATX. Hello, Gloria. How are you? DCA is the way. ES Sports, absolutely. Good afternoon, Michelle. How are you, ma'am? I hope you are having a fantastic day. I hope all of y'all had a fantastic weekend too. Like, guys, my weekend seemed to be just slam busy. It was an incredible weekend. We went and saw John Wick 4. We went and had a niece's birthday. I got to get out and do some like picnic with the family at the park. We went out and did some disc golfing, which is kind of my sport of choice. Oh man, it was an absolute blast. I hope all of y'all had an amazing weekend. Let me know what you did for fun over the weekend too, down in the chat and also in the comments below when you're watching the replay squad. It's weird. There is more buy volume than sell volume. Yeah, so in terms of buy volume than sell volume, that is interesting, but the way it works is it's not just this pair. So if you're actually seeing it right here, this is what Gabriel is referring to. This buy volume versus sell volume is kind of seeing that this is where we're seeing the buy volume, sell volume here. But you have to understand this would normally look to be a green day. Why? Because there's more dollars being bought than there are dollars being sold. But when it comes to liquidity, this is only one pair. There are 4 different pairs, main pairs of liquidity when it comes to HEX. In fact, the main one that you see is this one that we were just looking at. HEX versus USDC at 0.3. There's liquidity all here in this range. And then you can also type in just HEX again, just for an example, and you're going to see 4 other pairs pop up. And that, like, granted, there's many other pairs to be messed with, but majority wise, it's sitting right here between these pairs, right? HEX versus USDC, a lot of volume within the last 24 hours. You have HEX versus Wrapped Ethereum at 0.3. You also have HEX versus Wrapped Ethereum at 1%. You also have HEX versus USDC at 1%. So there are many other pairs that all factor together the price. So if I was to click this, And just looking at Deck Screener, for example, if I was to go back and find a different chart of HEX USDC, instead of showing the Uniswap pair of 0.3 that this one's looking at right now, it would potentially pull up another 1% pair or the wrapped Ethereum pair, and all of that is going into the price. So it's not just this one example right here. If I was to go through HEX versus wrapped Ethereum, for example, you can probably see that this buy volume and sell volume is pretty darn similar, right? We have 7.2 million here, 7.2 million here. But there's obviously one pair in particular that's got the price dropping, right? That's how this works, folks. There's obviously, out of all these pairs right here, there's one of these pairs that are basically having a more sell volume than buy volume, right? And that's just one of those things. That's how this whole thing works. I can probably pull up this one and see this. Hey, this one's also got more. Interesting. But again, there's a pair somewhere, and I'm not going to go through them all right now, right? But I hope y'all can understand what I'm referring to. There's a pair somewhere that has more sell volume than buy volume. Let's just leave it like that. Let's leave it like that. And plus, there's also liquidity positions that also have all of this going into play and all of that happening. So all of this is being considered when it comes to pricing. Currently, we have liquidity positions all here in this range. We have a lot of essentially a sell wall right here that we have to pass. So, oh man, I'm having a tough time thinking that we're seeing the price of HEX pump, especially when it comes to PulseChain launching. So, sad day for me, because I was really expecting we're going to see, 15-cent HEX, 20-cent HEX, right? Because like that's when you see it like, damn, let's go. That's when the hype really starts happening, like we were seeing when it was going all the way up to 12 cents. What's funny about that though, yes, people are going to take profit, but then I didn't even consider, because it's not something that I factor into my personal situation, where whales don't want people to have a whole bunch of money ready to deploy on PulseChain when PulseChain launches. If you had 4x your bag, like say you bought HEX at 10 cents and that's where you entered, and the price of HEX goes up to 40 cents, you got 4x your bag at that point in time and 4x your money to be able to do something when PulseChain launches. Why would a whale want to try to compete with anyone trying to get Pulse? And they want to get as much as they can. They want to get as much Pulse X as they can. And how do they do that? They control and suppress the price. They suppress the price here below 10 cents because we, for the most part, have a max potential so far at this time where the max is around 10 cents, right? A lot of people were able to make some money up to about 10 cents. And then at this point in time, they're just going to kind of hold that wall there. That wall is going to be a hard wall for us to pass. And until PulseChain just launches and HEX takes a dump, like guys, I can see, again, Ethereum HEX is going to have a hard time when actually the launch comes. Okay, so keep that in mind. So that's why I'm saying set some limit orders down low that you just don't even think may be a possibility. I see the PulseChain launching well within 6 months. So just have it low, because if you have it, yes, you'll get your copy on the fork when that fork happens. And yes, you'll get your copies on PulseChain when that goes down. But also you're going to scoop up that HEX on the Ethereum side whenever the price drops, right? Like if you're not a person who's trying to, sell their Ethereum HEX to get into PulseChain, for example, then you just let that sucker ride. You have your stakes over there. You have all that done where it's, mining and getting paid every single day, trustless yield. That's incredible. So this is going to continue to happen over and over and over and over again. So have them set. Put them out 6 months. Like, I mean, what's the worst that'll happen? It never gets filled? Cool. Like, if it does get filled and you have one filled at 7, at 6, at 5, at 4, and it never goes down to 3 or 2, then cool. You got them filled even lower, and you didn't have to worry about trying to do market timing, market buying, looking at the charts, what's happening, when's it's happening, because I don't think anyone expected the price after the V3 announcement to drop down to 6 cents. That was a crazy, crazy thing to happen. T Jizzle says, yo, what's up, my friend? Crypto military vet, Simplify, my friend. Many still holding Ethereum and USDC? Absolutely. Yeah, someone said this in a stream the other day, and I said it, I actually commented and said the same thing too. Imagine that HEX or PulseChain has the biggest marketing built in. It's got built-in marketing. What do I mean by that? I mean that people are going to open their wallets a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, and they're just going to be sitting on like $1 million without even doing anything. So like, again, sometimes the easiest thing to do is nothing. That's also the hardest thing to do. But imagine that you have HEX right now on Ethereum. You don't even know about PulseChain. You aren't actually involved in it. You have no clue. I don't even want to use HEX because you're probably at least knowledgeable on what's going on. But let's just say, for example, you have some Ethereum, and during that time it goes through, and yes, it's going to be heavily diluted. I get that. But if you open up your wallet 5 years from now and PulseChain has gone and done a 10,000x or even a 5,000x or whatever the case may be, I don't want to be using that 10,000x anymore. I'm not a fan of that. But we'll just say 5,000x, 1,000x, and then you open it up and you're like, wow, that's free money. I had 5 million over here on Ethereum. That turned into 20. I had, nothing that I knew about. I opened up, connected my wallet, and now I'm sitting on an extra million over here. That's freaking cool. Let me go ahead and do something with it, right? And so people are going to have this open up, and it's going to be a constant thing people are going to mention. That's so good on built-in marketing, like so good. That is freaking incredible. So yeah, people are going to be incredibly blessed. It's like putting yourself in a coma and then waking up 4 years from now and then realizing you're a multimillionaire. How cool would that be? Without even worrying about all the FUD and everything else that happens in between. There's a group of whales decided to pump HEX to 12 cents, then dump to the 4 to 5 cent range. For sure, yeah, Hex Freedom, I'm agree. One part came true. We'll see if the second part is gonna come true or not. Yeah, and granted, like that's what if you're gonna like, I'm not swimming with the whales by any means, but if they're gonna do a price suppression that I can see them clearly doing, then yeah, let me go through and rearrange my mindset. What is my new game plan? Before, it was take profit on the double and have some sitting on the side of some stable coins, so that way it's there. Well, guess what? Now I'm using that stable coins that I've taken profit on, and I'm setting limit orders on the way down. I'm setting it at 7, I'm setting it at 6, I'm setting it at 5. I'm going down, folks. Like, this thing's gonna, like, be ready, because, like, yeah, PulseChain could launch any second now, and that's absolutely incredible. Smash the likes, folks, if you appreciate all the content as well. Much love to everyone who came through, and also if you are not already subscribed and would like to, it means a lot. SC, hello. I staked all of my HEX, so am good. There you go, Gloria. That's the easiest way to do it right there. Do you pay the gas fee? Well, okay, I already answered that. How is your pup doing today, ATX? Much better, Gloria. Thank you so much for asking. Seriously, like, they just go through these old, we call it, we say we're the emotional support humans for them, right? Me and my wife, the emotional support animal, or the the emotional support people, humans for the pups. So yeah, thank you for asking. He's doing much better. He's calmed down. There ain't no barking today. Everyone's all calm. I got a pup in here right now, just hanging out, sleeping in the office with me. There's always at least one puppy here in the office while I'm streaming. So just FYI on that too. But Gloria, thank you again for asking. They must be selling in China. Damn it. Hey man, thank you for all your help on Patreon. Of course, Dan369, Patreon supporter right there. You make Dum Dum Dan into a semi-Dum Dum Dan. Going after those 5Ps. Much love, Dan. Look at that. Patreon supporter right there as well. Guys, if you want to, I definitely have mini spreadsheets to help people on profit taking. I have other things. If you want to set up one-on-one consultation calls, you can join patreon.com/ATXcrypto, or just find the link down in the description below. Check out the tier of what works best for you, and I'm more than happy to accommodate. But Dan, thank you so much for that mention. Built-in marketing is better than Christmas morning, LOL. It's Christmas every day here. I love that, DYOR Hexicans. Thank you so much for the love and support as well for what you got going on. Yeah, dude, I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you're doing great, DYOR Hexicans. Much love as well. Gabriel, is holding USDC even safe now? Yeah, I mean, so I'm never a fan. If you have a stablecoin that lost its peg to $1, I basically have lost a lot of trust. And granted, we're still so early in this game of DeFi that, like, they're still going to be figuring stuff out. But if you've lost your peg to $1, I'm not a fan, right? Even though it came back and got its peg back and it was probably all good, and it was only $3 billion that they had over a SVB or Silicon Valley Bank. And they still have, 20 or $40 billion worth of whatever Circle had during that time. Yeah, the chances that they got their peg back was obviously pretty high. They got their peg back. It's clear as day that it happened. But when you lose that peg, you've lost a lot of trust in it right there. So I've looked into other stuff now. TUSD is now more or less one of my favorite stable coins if you're going to be making that play, because TUSD is true or trust USD or true USD. So, you know, more or less a bigger fan. But again, they all had their little issues, man. When the time came for, you know, when S hit the fan and they had to actually, you know, put their feet to the ground and see what would happen, I think all of them ended up getting a little bit wrecked, right? I mean, Diverse, you know, had their own issues as well, and you know, they're a DAO and that kind of stuff, and they had their issues, and I don't know, it was a tough time. It was a very tough time. So be careful about all of these stable coins. The other one was LUSD, if I'm not mistaken, which is Liquidity's stable coin, and they actually did pretty darn good during that whole little cycle. But again, they've had their own little issues too, where the price is fluctuating. So stable coins, I'm always guys, you just want to be cautious about it, right? Like, stable coins are supposed to be stable. Yes, it's supposed to be that way. Yes, it's, you know, supposed to make sense. But I mean, damn, dude, if you want to talk about crypto being volatile, stable coins should not be volatile. So be careful about holding stable coins. But again, if you, whatever you hold is on you, basically understand that. But yeah, a lot of these stable coins have admin keys. So again, do you like holding crypto that has admin keys? I don't. But how do you take advantage of limit orders, right? If you don't have another coin that you're using for liquidity or limit orders, then, you know, you got to find a way to make it make sense. So yeah, hopefully that answered the question. Hello, everyone. Somehow, some way, everything works out well. Dude, Chris Crypto, yeah. So that's always one of the things, like, I think there was a quote from Shia LaBeouf, I don't know how to say his name, but he basically had someone tell him one time that if everything is not well right now, then it's not the end, right? And so, like, that was an easy way of saying that everything always works out in the end, right? And so it's one of those, you just have to kind of like go through the struggles you have to get through. And I call them chapters, right? Because we have a book of life. We have a whole book of life that we have for ourselves. We have either paragraphs that we're going through and sitting in right now. We have chapters that we're going through in our life. And those chapters can, of course, affect what we go through and change our path forward in the future. But it's at the same time, all of us are basically flipping to a new chapter, to a new page. We're going to that next page in the book of life, and we're just writing it down as we continue to go along. So continue just trucking along, guys, because yeah, dude, there's times where things aren't going to be looking so pretty. There's times where things are going to be looking almost too good, right? And so you just have to go through those little moments in time and understand, and hopefully you're able to keep a calm head through the whole thing too, because like, man, when you're going through some struggles, the struggles just continue to almost stack upon themselves. And then by the thought of manifesting your reality and what thoughts you put out there in the universe, it's that same mentality that, you know, I'm never going to get out of here. I'm never going to do this. It's that negative affirmation type deal. Whereas I like to go with like positive affirmations, like I'm getting out of this. I'm, you know, going to be a millionaire. I'm going to be a multimillionaire. I'm going to have land. I'm going to, whatever it is for yourself. And again, find that positive affirmation of what you need to start saying for yourself, but realize this is just merely what is a chapter in your life, right? Like, we flip to the next page, we turn to the next chapter, and then the story in the book of life continues. So absolutely agree with, yeah, somehow, some way, everything works out well. Facts on facts. Yeah, USDT, they have their own issues as well, Gabriel. They all have issues, right? And so it's just a matter of which one do you hold. I'm not a big fan of holding a lot, so if I do hold them, I just hold a very little amount of stable coins for me to do the purpose of what I talked about by providing limit orders and setting that way, maybe providing liquidity and going through and doing that way. But USDT also had its own issues as well, because they're also fractionally reserved like no other. And so if someone was to come through and do a crypto run, as they would call it, a crypto run on USDT and start extracting all the value, they aren't going to be able to withstand it. I mean, they also had on that crypto run when everything got depegged, they went down to 80 cents, right? And so they were about 20% off where they were supposed to be. USDC got down to, I want to say it was like 84 cents, right? And so all of these things definitely had their own issues that they all experienced and went through. And they all had to go through that as well. So it was a scary time, definitely a scary time. Something that, it was more eye-opening to just realize that you don't want to be holding a big bag of USDC and then something happen where they go a crypto run and then they can't afford it. I don't know. So yeah, I'm a fan of holding true DeFi like HEX, Hedron, right? Like whatever token that you decide, and then just know that there's going to be volatility in there. But if you're holding it for the long run anyways, I'd much rather be holding a ERC20 token that's true DeFi than a stablecoin. So even if it's liquid, and even if that means in the short term that the price may go down, because I believe in the long run, the price is going to be way above. So that's kind of like, yeah, I switched all my stablecoins into ERC20s of my choice. And then I kept a little bit. I still have, the limit orders that I have and all that good stuff too. So there's a small little bit of it, but yeah, that's how it all goes. Westcott Crypto, ATX, let's jump back on Wednesday. Let's go. Guys, you heard it here first. That's the announcement right there. Westcott sent me a message while I was while I was streaming. So I didn't get a chance to see that. Westcott, thank you so much for all the love, man. Guys, if you've missed that interview, me and him are going to make an excellent freaking duo. Get ready for this duo to become a pair here in this ecosystem. You got him bringing that virality. We got me bringing hopefully some knowledge of what's going on. His virality, guys, like if you haven't checked out any of his videos, I highly advise going to check him out. He's getting people hitting him up from everywhere. I think he's already like one of the top 10 content creators type deals for whose people are recommending to start watching, and they're absolutely loving his stuff. He comes out with these music videos. He's got one just recently with Crypto Windio or whatever, and so he's got, or Windio, I guess is her name. It's not Crypto, but yeah. So he's got so many of them. He's got Richard Hart ones. He's going to be making out all the content, getting out these massive content creators who aren't even in crypto, folks. Or if they are in crypto, they may just be learning about HEX for the very first time due to Westcott bringing that into the name. So Westcott, continue the good work, my friend. You're doing absolutely incredible. I think if the last time I checked, he was already at like 600 subs, and let's see what he's at now, because it's incredible seeing the journey of people coming along this ecosystem, and especially someone who knows all this virality, how to make it happen, and then seeing him put it into practice. Man, dude, incredible stuff right here. So yeah, let's just see real quick. Yeah, Westcott already up to 729 subs. Like, I think I checked the other day and it was like 600, and he's already up 100 right there. So congrats, man. Congrats, my friend. You're going to be well past everyone, passing by far, in my opinion, probably even one of the bigger content creators here, which is Crypto Coffee. That's my prediction right here. You keep on doing you, boo, and you're going to be passing Crypto Coffee. And I think he only has, if I want to say it was like 26,000 subs, if I'm not mistaken. Let's just see real quick, because I just like to see 28,000 now. So again, the last time I checked, it's always good. These numbers are pumping, folks. My numbers are pumping. Their numbers are pumping. Everyone's numbers are pumping. So it's incredible to see all this happening. But I can see Westcott Crypto being probably one of the bigger content creators in our ecosystem. So let's show him some love, guys. If y'all don't already, definitely give him some love as well. All right. So we got Gabriel saying, yes, I know, but if I take some profit and save it for later for limit orders, into what should I swap my profits? Yeah, again, like that's part of that whole thing. You got to find the stablecoin that makes sense for you, Gabriel. I don't know. I'm not a financial advisor. I can't decide on that for you. Hold the stablecoin that you think is good. I mean, USDC is backed at least. Circle's got the money to be able to back them one for one. So I would say they're obviously one of the bigger ones who I saw. But once they depegged, kind of lost a lot of faith in them right away. But not to say that they can't redeem themselves and come back and be bigger and better later, right? So I would definitely look to see which one you have, right? What makes more sense for you? If you're okay with holding some volatile, maybe I don't know. Yeah, I would just say, yeah, do the stablecoin of your choice. Do you think RH is working on that private version of PLSX, and is way ahead of what is publicly available to us as testnet v3? DeFi Don, yes, I 100% do. 100%. Hey, we got 33 likes. We got 33 viewers. I just had to point that out. 33 is my favorite number, so that's so cool. Let's keep on pumping it up past 33 always, for sure. Don't get me wrong. Love to see that number increase, but I just had to point it out because I saw it, and 33 is my favorite number. So anyways, going back over here, yes, I do think that Richard Hart is in fact working on the private version as well. We already knew that about 3 months ago he announced that private testnet was up and running. And So they're already working on private testnet. And guys, all we're seeing is what's called user interface. The whole testnet right now that we see, this whole interface right here that we're seeing right here, this is user interface. This has nothing to do with the actual underlying code and the underlying consensus of everything. This is literally what we're seeing for user interface. All user interface can be changed so quickly. We saw it as well by just going to hex.com, for example, and the fact that, what do they say now? They say mining here. They say mining averages, right? Like all that changed as soon as Richard Hart just talked about mining. And then what happened? Hedron and Icosa changed their front ends and all that. So all we're seeing is front end right now. We are so far ahead on the underlying code. So be careful, because what just happened recently? Well, we actually had this happen right here, where PulseChain had another update for gold posts. It's the official implementation of the PulseChain node, a fork of Go Ethereum, which is Geth, which is 37 minutes ago, right? Or, you know, roughly about an hour ago, probably now, but now that I'm streaming. But they came through here and they actually are updating quite a bit of stuff. So this is bullish news, folks. You got to understand, like, very, very, very bullish, if you ask me. These are folks who are coming in here. You have all these stuffs, adding V3 suffix to PulseChain testnet. The testnet's going to be the main testnet for what we're going to see going forward. So it's going to be pretty cool to see what may be coming out if you actually keep the testnet up and running, because we may actually see that. The public testnet could be what we see going forward in the future of what they're going to be changing, just like the Gorelli network is the testnet for Ethereum and that kind of stuff. So you can really see what kind of stuff they're working on potentially, maybe get a little bit of a fix or ahead of the game. But yeah, the Gold Pulse has actually got a little update here. That was 2 hours ago now that I'm streaming. But look at all this: Prism Pulse, Aragon Pulse, Staking Deposit, Lighthouse Pulse. All these were just 4 days ago. It's incredible, because what happened? Roughly about 3 days ago, we got V3. You know what I mean? I don't even, was it 3 days ago? 4 days ago? I don't even remember when V3 came out. That's so crazy. Because again, like, you would really think that the price would just start going do. Oh, that was when I was looking at the stable coins. So let me go back to the little hex, you know. But again, we use USDC as a pairing coin for liquidity providing. So I'm gonna be a fan more so, and more have a feeling toward USDC, right? Because I'm just what I'm familiar with. But yeah, right here, we had the price go up March 23rd. Today's the 27th. So yeah, 4 days ago, that was V3 announcement right here. We saw it go all the way up to 12 cents, almost 13 cents. People were like, nope. The whales were like, take that on down. And then they dropped it all the way down to 6. So I am thinking right now we are not going back up, folks. Yeah, we may get back up to the 10. Yeah, we might get up to the 12, but I don't see us really passing that. Why? Because we got some big liquidity right here, and all these whales who are dumping, like I was showing just a little bit earlier on this particular entity right here. For this person, they have like 27 positions open for liquidity providing. They literally have all of these positions open in here. So I would just be very careful on trying to understand and try to like play that game. I would just have limit orders right now set in place to be able to take advantage when the price goes inevitably lower. And if it doesn't ever dip that low, then hopefully you got some, right? If you want to make sure you get some, again, I'm not a fan of market buying, so don't necessarily set it for 7.941. Maybe set it for 7.8 or something like that. Because if the price goes down just a smidge more, then cool, you got it, and you still were able to set the limit order. If you just need to absolutely do it, I'm not a fan of doing market buys. I talked about it earlier. You have to be paying attention to the gas fees and that kind of stuff. And right now, gas fees are just stupid, right? 33 is not ridiculous. But anything above 20, I don't transact on the network personally myself. Because that is just paying an extra fee for no reason. You can typically wait a few hours and just pay a lower fee by waiting a few hours. So like it's already gone down to 28. I would wait until it's down in, 18 or something like that, right? It does go down. Yes, you just have to be a little bit more patient, but that's how all this works as well. So hopefully that makes some sense. What was the, if y'all remember in chat, what was the indicator? One, we got moon phases, so we got full moon coming up in about 10 days, so it's just kind of one of those things that we were just taking a peek at. The, whoops, that's not the one I wanted to see. Let me see back over here. I have to add it again. Why do I have to add it again here. Moving average. EMA cross. There you go. It's got all that. I got to adjust it here. We're going to go to 9 and 15. And cool. Yeah, so still in terms of the moving averages, we're good on that one. 9 and 15 is a good indicator typically of what we're going to be seeing, but you can see the 9 EMA is starting to cross down. Let me make this white, make it a little bit easier for you. Make it easier for myself even too. We're going to go here to white, make it a little bit thicker. And visibility, cool. On all, I don't really care about all the other ones, but cool, I'll leave it there. So you have the 9 EMA versus the 15 EMA, and this is something that we kind of look at as well here on the channel. We want to see kind of what they got going on, a good indicator of what trajectory we're going to be going on. We actually were going down for a bit right before about the middle of March, where you had Richard Hart start announcing a whole bunch of PulseChain news once again. Price pumped. I really thought the continual announcements would be a thing. Now that V3 is here, you would think it would continue to go, but people actually now know that PulseChain's about to launch. Whales are going through and playing their game, and they're suppressing the price, and this is going to continue to happen. So yeah, until like I could see this once it crosses, typically bearish, right? Typically bearish. So let's see what we got going on. Oh, there was an indicator for the liquidity on the chart. Oh, yep, EMI bops. There you go. Oh, I need to turn off one of the indicators here. Which one do I not want? I will get rid of this one and go back. We're going to look at EMI and see. All right, so we're looking at liquidity on the chart right now. Cool. So this is actually seeing where the main liquidity is actually being suppressed at or held at. Oh, don't go back. And you can see a ton of liquidity all here in this range. So we're going to be suppressed right until about the 10-cent range. You can see it all happening on screen right now. So, whoops. Dang. I always push the wrong button. It's not command. I don't know why I do that, because I'm so used to I'm so used to Windows still. I use Windows for so long, but I got a Mac now, and so I'm still getting used to the buttons. But let me make this a little bit brighter. Make it brighter. Okay, cool. So that's going to be, we're going to fall. We're going to fall basically right exactly where we're trending right now. You can see we're going to basically be here and just play here in this range up until it's ready to do what it does. And unfortunately, until people start getting out of this indicator zone right now, then we don't really have much to do. We're just playing here in their range. And it's going to be hard to break out of 10 cents. It's not too hard to break down. We're already breaking that little lower barrier, but it's come through and already used it as support several times. So you can see we do have some support around the 8-cent mark. But again, right until then, we wouldn't see support until right about 7.1. So if you're setting limit orders, what do? You set limit orders here in this range between 7.8 all the way down to 7.1, 7.2, and then right at 7 cents, we're gonna have probably some support where it's gonna bounce off 7 cents, and then if it breaks through, we're gonna drop down once again, all the way down, all the way right until about 5 cents, and that's really the next level of liquidity that we start providing. So we got some resistance to push through, but guys, now that I know the whales are going to do their thing, I have a very tough time trying to think that we're going to be seeing price pump again, right? Whoops. If the price does end up pumping, we could see it pump past this, and then it could go up to roughly about 17 cents, but I don't think that's going to be the case. That's just my opinion. Let's just see what happens. We shall see what happens. Can you consider stating affirmations as you already have it instead of stating it's coming in the future? The universe knows it as it's already done and manifests accordingly. Yeah, exactly. So instead of saying I'm gonna, you just say I am. I am a multimillionaire. I am rich. All my debts paid off. It's not saying like I will have everything paid off. It's saying everything is paid off. It's a difference of like believing and just thinking, right? You have to put that true belief into the world and say like all these positive affirmations to yourself, right? Hex is hitting $1 by the end of the year, continuing to say that. Hex is hitting $1 by the end of the year. Hex is hitting $1 by the end of the year. And like we're going to see it probably go through a lot of volatility in the meantime. While it's there, it could go down to 3 cents, 2 cents. And then by the end of the year, we're up to, $1. So what happens at that point in time? Well, you just made a good little 50x if you're able to buy some at the 2 cent range. Incredible stuff, right? Cookie de chocolate. Hello, hello, hexicans. Hello, ATX. Love to you all. Much love. Another Patreon supporter right there. Cookie de chocolate. Much love as well. That's awesome. If you two do more together, loved your guys' streams. So much positivity and made me lol. SC, well, you heard it here first on stream. Me and Westcott are going to be back at it again on Wednesday, so be sure to come tune in. If you aren't already subscribed to myself or Westcott Crypto, do yourselves a favor and click that button. What will the PHEX price be after launch? I don't know. Unfortunately, P-Swag, I wish I can give you a better answer on that. There's just no way of knowing. I can't afford Ethereum, Gwei. Yeah, Ethereum Gwei, dude, like, oh man, yeah. Westcott Crypto came through and said that in the song. That was fire, dude. It was fire, man. Absolute fire as well. What's up, Hexicans? Hello, Tintop. How are you, my friend? How I made manifest. Exactly. Manifest your reality. I mean, Jake Sharp talks about it. I talk about it. Jake Sharp is a big believer in reality transurfing by Vadim. Oh, man, I'm going to mess up the name on this one. Let me pull it up. Reality transurfing. But he has listened through that book more probably along the ballpark of like 100 times now. I don't know. That's by far the book that he either listens to and reads the most. Reality transurfing. Let me just pull it up. Reality transurfing. And again, if y'all haven't heard some of this stuff, incredible information to also be trying to listen to as well. It's by Vadim Zaland. And you can come in here. I know I went through and listened to, I think I got up to about the 4th chapter so far. I've kind of given it some opportunity to kind of learn a little bit more. But you have to digest some of this stuff too, right? You can't just listen in the background. You have to really want to digest it. So you can see Reality Transurfing Chapter 1. There's a whole audio book here, Chapter 2, all the way down. I think there, you know, overall there's plenty of chapters to be listening to, but it is about manifesting reality, right? Reality transurfing, exactly what it sounds like. Exactly what it sounds like. So bam. Yeah, Jake Sharp's a big believer in that. I'm also a big fan of it too. I believe in the same thing that, you know, like you are what you practice, you are what you preach, you are what you think. And even if you don't say it out loud, you don't have to say it out loud. Just thinking some thoughts out there puts it out there into the universe, and the universe is listening, friends. The universe is listening. It's going to be listening tenfold, and it's going to return exactly what you're, you know, putting out there, whether it be thoughts or positivity or negativity. The universe definitely knows what you're thinking. Stefan says, like and share right now. Yes, sir. Like and share right now. Do you think 20K in Pulse is decent to DCA in the coming 3 to 4 months? Yeah, so I mean, think about so I've said it before, but like we went back and looked at several projects who in the past have essentially shown what could happen in the future of it, right? So I pulled up PulseChain price comparison, and where'd it go? PulseChain price comparison. Okay, I got to open it up separately. Desktop, PulseChain price comparison. Cool. So this is essentially the PulseChain price comparison screen right here. And with that, what you get is what we did is we basically took this and I went and compared it against all of these other launches. I said, how did Ethereum do? How did Solana do? How did Cardano do? How did Binance do? And I looked at all of these things by going to a website like CoinGecko, I think is where I went to pull up this information initially, because Nomics didn't really have a good chart on it. But like you could just see, if you have a plan to invest in the first 60 to 180 days, you're going to do very well, right? You can look at, see exactly how this all ended up happening. So Binance actually started at 16 cents when it first launched in 2017. During that time, it actually got as low as 8 cents, and it actually, I think, got even lower, roughly about 4 cents. And you got to imagine this is what, from September all the way down to October. So if you just took that during that time and you continue to dollar cost average over that period of time, you know, 1,000 here, 1,000 here, 1,000 here, 1,000 here, just do a weekly DCA, even over the first month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, you're going to start seeing this where you start going up and it's $1.63, for example. And then what happens? You start seeing it go even crazier, right? And just to kind of give you a little example of what would actually end up being, we're just going to go 2 years for now. And this is from September. So we're going to use the same chart from September. and see exactly what happens. So you went from essentially 9 cents down to 4 cents, and then you went all the way up to a potential of going up to, you know, $37, $38, $40. And if you dollar cost average during that entire time, even over the first 60 to 180 days, you're going to have a massive bag at that point in time. And then just do that same math. And again, granted, I'm just going to use 20,000 as the example, and I'm just going to use it as the example of entering on day one. So day one, you were at 16 cents. So that would have gotten you roughly about 125,000 BNB tokens if you had just done it day one. Now, if you average that over the span of the first 30, 60, 90, 180 days, you're going to do very, very well. But let's just say that this goes up to $38 at that point in time. Well, you just turned $20,000 into $4.75 million. Is that good? Like, hey, yeah, dude, that's freaking fire. Are you kidding me? Like, absolutely incredible. And that's just being generous. Like, it actually ended up going and doing some crazier things too, where it actually ended up reaching a point in time where it was, you know, $675 per token. Now, granted, this is in 2021, but that was back at $38 back over here in 2019. Like, what if you continue to hold during that entire time? Well, guess what? Now you're sitting on a $675 token, and this is what, 4 years later, roughly, something like that, somewhere in that ballpark, because it goes from 2017, 5 years later, 4.5. We'll just, oh, okay, yeah, because it's September of 2021. So, yeah, so right in this time, during this time frame, May of 2021, you're roughly 3 years later, 4 years later. You're looking at a massive potential of just, again, turning $20,000, or I'm just going to say, what was it? I'll just do it again. 20,000 divided by 0.16 was 125 times $600. If you could actually hold it during that entire time, you're sitting on a bag of 75 mil. Yeah, 20K is a great start, my friend. Great start, okay? Like, that's as simple as it gets. And that's using just one of the tokens, guys. We went through and did a whole comparison on all of these tokens, how Ethereum did, how Solana did, how Cardano did, how Avalanche did, Polkadot did. And again, you got to imagine Ethereum performed the best. You got Binance performing second best. But even if you just took it and you just do 1,000x potential that money, and you turn $20,000 into, you know, 1,000x potential right there, you still turned it into $20 million during that time over the span of 4 years. Yeah, 20,000, you're good, boo-boo. You're good. You're doing good. You're having fun. You're going to have a life-changing wealth here soon. So just keep that in mind. Make sure that you're doing it smart as well, Crypto Elite. I love that question. Great book. That's why I connect with you. Chris Crypto. Hey, there you go. Exactly. Yeah. Laws of attraction. Yeah, 100%. No BNB went up. No, BNB went up as much as BCZ. Oh, yeah, because Binance owns 95% of it. I was there. Then they split it in other addresses. Yeah, yeah, that's what I don't necessarily like. Like, Binance is like the one-off, right? But you just look at like Ethereum, for example, or even Solana. And that's why I said, like, you just look at 1,000x potential. Solana is down all the freaking time. It's a shit layer one service. But it still did a 1,200x in the span of 605 days. So in less than 2 years, and I don't even know, but what is S's and G's, right? We're here having fun. Let's just take a look at how Solana has been performing, because I always get a little bit curious on some of this stuff too. And again, you can look at it logarithmically. I know that. I'm just using it for the chart purpose, because I'm not really caring to like understand the full chart. But if you do click log, it'll look a little bit easier to make sense. I just use this to kind of compare where I need to be looking at price wise. But if you go back and see when it first launched in April of 2020, it's gone down many times, many times. So let's just say, for example, it launched here at almost $1. It went down during that time and got as low as 51 cents. Let's see how low it really got. It went down and got as low as 51 cents. That seemed to be the low at that point in time. And then from there, it actually pulls up and does this right here, where it actually went up to $250. So again, you're talking $1 all the way down to 50 cents within the span of the first 60 to 90 days, right? First 30 days. And then you had to go all the way up to $259. And granted, it went down, but guys, look at this. You started here at $1. You went down, you averaged over 50 cents. You bought it during this entire time over the first month, 2 months, 6 months, whatever the price is that you end up buying, because you just continue to buy during this entire time. And then bam, you say you stop buying in January, it goes up, has a nice run up. You have some profits, you do that, whatever the case may be. Hopefully you took some profits on the way up as well. You're still sitting at $20, $21 right now today, right? And again, if you start out at $1, and this is again just for fun, let's just see. 20K. Well, we already know it's going to be 20,000, and sitting at, what was it, $28. It's still going to be $560,000. But look at what we talked about. You turned 20K into what could have potentially been at one point in time as high as $250. This is why taking profits is so important, folks. Because if you do 20K and you did not take profits along the way, this is why taking profits is so important. Because if you go up to $250, at one point in time, you had $5 million. Okay? And then you watch that 5 million, you turn 20K into 5 mil, and then you watch that 5 mil turn into essentially 500,000 because it's still sitting at $28, $20, somewhere in that ballpark. And you turn 5 mil into 500K. You're still up quite a bit on your profit initially, but again, that's a mind F for a lot of people. They don't really fully understand that mental struggle of what it was. And then you look back at every decision that you possibly ever made. And I should have done this and I should have done that. Well, make a strategy right now. Now is the time to figure this out. This is why we compare other charts, especially other layer 1 charts, because I don't want to be in this situation where I go up and I turn, 5-figure investment to a 7-figure investment, multi 7-figure investment, and then turn that down into a, maybe mid 6-figure investment. That stinks. Like, yeah, you could have a diamond hand strategy and you can not sell for as long as you say you're not going to sell for, but live your life, man. Like, we get one life to live, folks. Go have some fun. Go take a vacation. Go be bougie. Go buy some stuff that you've always wanted. Pay off all of your debt. Do whatever a case may be. Like, have some fun. Take some profits, man. Don't be silly in this situation. Don't think selling profits is going to be a bad thing. So hopefully that makes more sense for all of y'all. Yeah, I'm sure BNB uses all of their trading fees to buy and burn their own coin. Which is fine. Yeah, I mean, we just saw, dude, I think it was Meet Kevin came out and, I think it was, what was the bank called? Drawing a blank on the name of the bank. But Chase, I think Chase, JP Morgan and Chase came through and did a full article on how much Binance holds for Bitcoin. And I think they're saying that in terms of the trading volume, Binance is like holding 80 or 90% of it, which is crazy. So very centralized there as well for Bitcoin now. Why you think they hate Richard Hart? Same tactics. Yeah, I mean, dude, like he's polarizing. So you either love him or you hate him. And if you can't get past looking through certain layers of his personality, of who he is, to just listen to his words, then some people are instantly above it or past it. And so that also comes with ego. And you'll hear this quite often where someone who has a very high ego has a very tough time listening to Richard Hart because they think they are better than Richard Hart. They think they know better than anything he talks about. They think at that point in time that he's just full of S and they don't want to listen to anything that he has to say. Whereas someone who is humble and open-minded, and you can have a big ego, like don't get me wrong, like I got a big ego, but you got to be humble and open-minded and open and perceptive to your surroundings, your other people, what they're saying. Turn on your active listening skills, and then when you start listening to what he's saying, you're like, wow, this man is very intelligent with what he's talking about. He's coming from a different angle that I've never seen or thought of before. He's teaching me stuff that I had no idea about before. But if you come from the angle that I already know everything, and then you try listening to Richard Hart, it's you get combative with them, right? You're like, you're not going to teach me anything new. There's no way. And that little combative argument is what a lot of people hate. And so you can basically tell who's got an ego that will not let them learn, and they think they already know everything that is to know. And that's dangerous, folks. That's a dangerous realm to be in. So that's why people, you know, unfortunately don't necessarily like him. He's very polarizing. People love him or hate him. So there's an 80-20% rule in life in general. There's what's called an 80-20%. So 80% of the people, no matter what, 10% of the people are going to love you no matter what. You can punch them in the face, you can, you know, hit them in the groin, you can do whatever you need to with them, and they're going to love you regardless. They're just going to love you. That's 10% of people. You got another 10% of people that are going to hate you no matter what you do, no matter what you say, no matter how you prove everything possibly to prove. They're going to hate you, and that's just what it is. That's 10, and that's 20% of folks. You have to work on typically the other 80% of folks. You have to work on that other 80% of people. That is where most people fall susceptible to go one side or another, and then they typically try to become very polarizing and captivating. What happens when you do that, you start splitting the 80-20 into something like 40-60, 50-50, which is why you see Republicans and Democrats, where it's again like you have the extreme left and the extreme right. Those are people who, no matter what they do, won't ever decide to go see eye to eye. They just refuse to see each other's opinion. They don't care. They think they know better, and that's just what it is. So again, that's how it works. So if you become so captivating that you just fall one way or another and go extreme, sometimes people have a hard time following. But Richard Hart is a man of many mysteries, and we're all fortunate to just be present in this world of his, because while he shares so much knowledge, he is very unique in how he does it. He's gone through the next chapter in his book of life. He went through, you know, self-help, and that was all of his videos. When he first started YouTube, he was like, dude, I'm a retired multi-billionaire probably. Like, what can I do to help people? I would love to help people. So he made self-help books, self-help videos. All of his videos early in the day were quick segments about things to think about, how to change your mind, things that, you know, all that stuff. Created crypto. Had a whole process there. Here's what it is. Here's why it's better. He went with the whole combative argument with some people too, because they just realized that even if he tried to go with the gentleman angle, they didn't really care to listen. So he's like, you know what? I'm gonna make you listen. And then the next chapter was this outrage marketing, where he's like, guys, if that's what works, I'm gonna go do it real fast. Like hold my beer type deal, right? Hold my beer. Let me do it. And then he went out and did outrage marketing, and his growth of socials went and grew 3 to 4x from where they were previously over the span of that 1 year of him doing outrage marketing. So there was some truth to it. It definitely worked. Now when he makes a tweet on PulseChain, for example, within the first 24 hours, people have seen it like 400,000 times. Look at this view right here, folks. This is that same tweet that just came out yesterday. This is your warning that PulseChain and PulseX can launch at any time now without warning. It's already been seen 644,000 times. That is massive. He wasn't getting that many views a long time ago, like 2 years ago, if you had seen his tweets. If you go back and look at his tweets, he wasn't getting that many views, but 644,000 people in the span of 1 day. Yeah, outrage marketing worked, man. And now he's on the next chapter of Humble. And guys, like, he's creating the world's largest airdrop and all of that stuff. So crazy, crazy, crazy. We're just so blessed to be here present watching this unfold and just have it as part of our journey as well. Like, I'm so thankful to have even heard about this ecosystem. I'm so thankful to all of you beautiful people who I would never go out and make content with any of the other investments that I was doing previously because I didn't care about them. It was just something I was doing. If I had it for a day, if I had it for a month, if I had it for a year, I didn't really care. I wasn't invested. Found this ecosystem, found the community, and man, dude, thick as thieves with this community, man. I compare this community to something you find in the military, and that's very tough to do. The camaraderie that you get when you're in the military is very tough to find in the civilian world, and this community right here just hits so many freaking check boxes so many times for what we have. Like, it's a camaraderie that you build upon, and it's a camaraderie that you love. And dude, like, yeah, we're gonna have little tiffs within each other, but we all come out ahead, man. We all come out above each other. We all come out moving forward, becoming better, becoming bigger, becoming all of that stuff. So absolutely incredible stuff, folks. Absolutely incredible stuff. It's just so freaking wild. You know what I mean? Most of the L1 benefits because of the inventions of DEX. Being able to lock up the native gas coin and LP boosted their coin value big time. Yeah, and we're gonna have a DEX day one. How incredible is that? Gloria, thank you. Much love. Like, seriously, Gloria, thank you. Like, seriously. Like that really hits you in the feels, you know, when you talk about that. Binance and CEO sued by U.S. CFTC over alleged regulatory violations. Yeah, that's gonna happen because they used a whole bunch of funds, you know what I mean, and then they have to look at where the funds came from, and then they're gonna be like, Binance has been in trouble so many times with regulatory stuff that it's a little slap on the wrist if anything, but you can never lock it down. They don't have anywhere to like serve them. The problem with what we tried to do with CZ listing and owning CoinMarketCap was the fact that we had to sue via Twitter. And the like, it was the first time, I think, a subpoena, or not a subpoena, an actual notice had been issued via Twitter. And, you know, because he doesn't, like, he's got bases everywhere and he could do anything, and there's no main location, there is no headquarters, and when you go to what is the supposed headquarters, there's nothing there. So yeah, it's just part of what it does. Exchanges pull down gains of crypto versus BTC. DEXs solved that. Facts on facts, crypto elite. Big up ATX. Solomon Phoenix, hello my friend, how are you? Hope you had a wonderful weekend, Solomon. I love the name as well. People don't like it that RH is so smart, and he's not ashamed of knowing that he is. Cookie de Chocolata says it best. That's summed up in like the best way of saying it. He's just so freaking smart, and he lets people know that he's so freaking smart. Right? He hits them with facts, cold hard facts. It's like indisputable. The reason why he wins so many, we'll call them argument. I don't even want to call them arguments. We'll call them so many debates with so many people, is because all he does is hit them with facts. And when you hit someone with facts, it's very tough to dispute, because why? It's factual. And so they end up trying to hit him where it's like they say something about his looks, and they start offending, well, you're overweight and you're this and you're that, and like that's you've lost the battle at that point in time. You lost the debate. You no longer get the ability to even talk anymore to Richard Hart, because at that point in time, if that's all you have to say, you're not Ed. That's not smart. That's like going with the, well, what bounces off, I'm rubber, you're glue, what bounces off of me sticks to you. Whatever nonsense that was, and you would say is like a little kindergarten, you know what I mean? That's like how I feel when people debate Richard Hart. They have nothing intelligent to say. They just try to hit him with some sort of like physical appearance or whatever. So I am a radical RH extremist to the maximalistic. Oh shoot, dude. Yeah, no matter what RH does, there is no flaws. I'm in the same boat, man. You look at him and you're like, I don't even care what he's doing right now. Like, you do you, boo. Like, I'm right there supporting you, man. Like, keep it up. Let's go. Yeah, a lot of us are RH true maximalists, you know what I mean? Big V says, yeah, man, I'm crazy disappointed if I'm being honest. Yeah. I mean, I feel the disappointment. You know what I mean? Like, but now that you think about it, it makes perfect sense that whales are going to suppress, because you have to imagine, if we have PulseChain soon, and they have the ability to suppress the price. Well, what does that keep you from doing? It keeps you from moving some of the profits, some of the money over into buying it there. So what if they have a plan to DCA for the first 6 months? A true whale can truly suppress the price for probably as long as they want, until true liquidity gets injected back in. Because when liquidity comes back in, it becomes that much harder to suppress the price. But until the price is until a lot of liquidity is starting to get factored back in, and low liquidity remains the same, it's going to be pretty easy for them to continue to suppress. So I'm thinking that, I don't even know, I would see the price being suppressed for on upwards of like, maybe even 6 months, which is why. But then once it finally stops, what's going to happen? People are going to realize that they've made a 50x profit within the first, or 50x gain over on PulseChain, a 50x gain over on PulseX, and then they're going to move some of those profits right back into the Ethereum hex, right? And so that's how this whole system's going to be flowing. And there's going to be some that are going to be pumping, some that are going to be dropping, and that's just a whole system of the 4 pillars. And we can take advantage of the pumps. We could take advantage of when there's a lower price to be able to start entering, right? So it's just a matter of like moving some of that over. It's just, so we're gonna be so freaking lucky in that regard. Mainnet is trending on Twitter. 69. Hey, Yeah, I think Twitter, I think someone said this to me. The Twitter trends is basically your Twitter trends. So, like my Twitter trends do not show that. Mine show Pulse X, for example. Mine show MetaMask, for example. Mine show Crypto Crash, and I could just show it. I could just keep it simple. How about that? But the easy way of knowing what's actually trending is essentially looking at, so you got Crypto Crash, you got Pulse X, you know, Longhorns with my little Texas crew right there. Oh, dude, so sad, but, you know, glad they got all the way through where they got to. You see Dump, Bricks, you see all this stuff. The way you really want to find out what's really trending, if you actually want to know, is you have to actually open up an incognito tab, and then you go to Twitter and not log in to your Twitter, of course. And then by going into the incognito tab, what you actually do at that point in time is you can type in Twitter and you can really see what's truly trending at that point, right? So I'm not going to sign up or nothing. I just go to trending. And this is actually what's truly trending and in the actual grand scheme of everything. So you got Lamar, you got Jungkook, well, you got guns, you got, you know, I don't even know, Embed, Gun Reform Now, AR-15, Sandy Hook, Do Something, right? These are all what's really trending. Binance is trending, right? CFTC once again. So that's how you have to actually find out, because it's going to show you based on your ecosystem in Twitter. So that's why mine's going to be different than yours. All that stuff. All that's going to be a thing. Yes, it's official. PulseChain snapshot window is closing. Future airdrop millionaires, get your ERC20 tokens into self custody ASAP. Absolutely, to get your free PRC20s that potentially could be worth a lot one day. Bam, check it out. Yeah, PulseChain devs, final pushing, fixing, all that good stuff. Yeah, you get the hype around it. All the ladies hyping PulseChain once again. I think people are a little bit sad about the hype as well. That's kind of one of those things that also isn't really happening, but it just is what it is. I love this community too. Amazing times. 100% agree. Coin market crap, lol. Yeah, that one got coined within the community a long time ago because they keep HEX listed at 201. Like little shites. And so because they do that, we just decided to change their name too. G evening ATX from Scotland. Dude, what's up, Terry Doc? How are you, my friend? I'm thinking RH is working on the last kill. Facts. Well, I mean, dude, he's got so much stuff waiting. Like of course he still has the wallet that he wants to make. You know, we already know that. But outside of crypto, he's working on opening up an entire museum, and he's looking at making a true name, dude. You want to talk about, he wants to be in that same realm when someone talks about billionaires as like Bill Gates, Elon Musk, and don't get me wrong about what they do and all their businesses, and I don't care about all that. I'm just saying he wants to be in that same threshold where someone says it and everyone knows it. He wants to be known worldwide. He just wants the people to say, Richard Hart, I know who you're talking about. I've been to his museum. I've checked out his watches. I got his cars for charity. Like all that stuff, dude. Absolutely crazy. In my opinion, the whale suppressing the price is great for new buyers to get in cheap. This is normal. Yeah, dude, like this is such a great time. You don't even understand. Like, yeah, the price is down to 7.6 right now, right? This is why we're streaming. The price is being suppressed once again. And you can go through and see exactly like who's selling if you really wanted to. Like, you know, this 59,000 right here, 10,000 here. You can go through and really dive in and see like who's selling and all that good stuff. Sometimes I'll do that because I'm just always curious and just kind of seeing like what else they have. You know, I'm going to do it on this one right here. 59,000 sold. So A4A. We've already seen this wallet before, but they're sitting on 107,000 USDC. They no longer have any HEX to sell. So all that's done, all that's good. So they no longer have any HEX. They've converted everything at this point in time. They did move over $10,000 worth into another wallet where they probably ended up transferring into, you know, Coinbase or something like that. Kind of my guess, you know, 2 hours ago, 3 minutes ago, something like this. You know, it's just one of those things that always end up happening. People are going to take some profits. It's just going to be part of the whole ecosystem. And of course, we look into this just to find out like what else they may got going on. But yeah, they continued to dump for, you know, the span of the last, you know, few hours, right? They did 5,000 here, 125 here. They did another 38,000 here. It's like they just continue to do this over and over and over again. That's just how they're doing it. And they, you know, that's just part of it, part of the ecosystem. But yeah, guys, this is such a good opportunity. Because if you are wanting to get as much as you can before the launch of PulseChain, take advantage. Like, set some limit orders. We talked about it here. Like, if you were live on stream and you wanted to buy at 7.8 and you set it at 7.7 or 7.6, you would have gotten your limit order most likely filled. If you set it down here below 7 cents, you know, 6.9 all the way down, set some limit orders going down, go low, you know what I mean? Have fun. Get down to the 4 cent threshold. Set some limit orders down really low. Don't do just one. Set a letter down, right? Set it at 7.2, 6.5, 5.7. Go down. Whether it be, you know, 0.5 cent increments or 0.5 cent increments, all that good stuff. So I hope that makes sense. I hope it makes sense for y'all. Okay. Terry Doc, like the Incredible Hulk. Yeah, exactly. PulseChain will launch April 1st. Dude, that would suck, Solomon. I'm not going to lie. That would absolutely be like the worst time. No one would believe it. It's cool if it just launches, because when it's out there, guys, it's out there, and then it can just grow organically, and we can all have fun, and we don't have to be a day one. You don't have to be involved day one, because then it's only ratios, and I am so against ratio trading. I do not think that is the play for anyone to be trying to mess with. Even if you missed out on the beginning of sacrifice for PulseChain or PulseX, ratio trading, if you do not know what the ratios are, it is a point in time where you can set yourself back months, if not years, to make up that money and the difference. So just be so careful. Like, if it launches April 1st, cool. People think it's a joke. People will have fun. If it comes from Richard Hart himself, people are not going to think it's a joke. It better be live. You know what I mean? He does not get to say that as a joke on April 1st. There's no April Fools on that one. Everything he says will have to be what it is. And he is a man of his word too. So yeah, what better time? Yeah, dude, that would be brutal. That would be so brutal, Solomon. Well, guys, this is gonna wrap up the stream. I hope every one of y'all had a fantastic weekend. I love all of you. I'll catch you tomorrow, and have a great day. Peace.